second graders who are looking for a big challenge. We've been talking about multiplication, and multiplication being that the same number is being added repeatedly over and over again. We've got lots of them and we're putting them all together. And it's a faster way for us to figure that out quickly. And we've talked about our math facts where we have 3 times 2 is 6. Okay? And then we started to talk about in our last challenge, okay, well, what if I have some bigger numbers, like 2-digit numbers, and I'm going to multiply it by 3. That means I have 3 of these 23s. 23 plus 23 plus 23. And one way we can solve that is we start with our ones. How many ones do we have? 3 times 3 is 9. And then we look at our tens. We need 3 20s. 20, 40, 60, right? So a 6, which is 60. We have 3 20s. 69. Okay. And then we also talked about, well, what happens if we have 23, not times 3, but times 7? Well, when we multiply the ones, 3 times 7 is 21, and I can't just put 21 down here. Just like with addition, that 2 is actually 2 tens, so it needs to go up with our tens. So now I'm going to do my tens. So the 2 tens times 7, 2 times 7 is 14, but I also have these right here. So I'm going to say 14, 15, 16. Okay, so the first thing I want you to practice is getting used to that. Just having some numbers, so practice doing maybe 25 times 8, 36 times 4, 45 times 7, okay? Practice solving those like we just did on your whiteboard, and you can post it to Seesaw, okay? So for instance, 25 times 8, let's do that one together, and you can do the other 2 on your own. So here's 25, and the 8 is a 1, so we need to put it with our ones. Okay, so we're going to start by doing our ones. What's 5 times 8? 40. So the 0 will go here, and the 4 is tens, so it's going to go with the tens. Then we're going to do our 2 times 8, which is actually 20 times 8. 2 times 8 is 16 tens, so 16, but we also need to add in this 4. So 16 plus 4 is 20. So this would be 25 times 8 is 200. Okay, so start by practicing that. Okay. And if you are ready to be a little more challenged beyond that, and again, you can always stop this video and go back to those problems to keep practicing that. Okay, but if you'd like to go beyond that, what if we have 2 2-digit numbers that we want to multiply? So let's say we have 23 again, but this time we're multiplying it by 35. Okay, so I'm gonna go like this. Well, we're gonna just start like we did before, 23 times 5. So 3 times 5 is 15, and that 1 digit is a 10, so it needs to come up here. 2 times 5 is 10, and 1 more, so that's 11. So that's what we've got so far. But now we need to do 23 times 30, and this isn't just a 3, it's 3 tens, 30. And remember, anytime we multiply something by 10, we add a 0 to it, right? So do you remember 7 times 10 equals 70? Okay, well, same thing. If I'm multiplying something by 30, 7 times 30, okay, it's still going to have a 0 at the end, and then 7 times 3 is 21. It's always going to have that 0 at the end, so I'm going to add a 0 right here because this is times 30. Now we're just going to say 3 times 3 is 9, and 2 times 3 is 6. And we're going to ignore this because that was part of our other one that we were doing. Okay? And now we're going to add, we did 23, 5 of those 23s, and then we did 30 of those 23s. Now we need to put that together. all of it together, 5, 10, and 8. So all together, that would be 805, okay? That's one way to multiply 2-digit by 2-digit. And it seems like a lot and it can hurt your brain, right? Let's do one more of it that way, and then I'm going to show you another way to do it that maybe your parents haven't even seen, okay? That might be easier for you. It just depends on what you prefer, okay? So let's say we have 36 times 24. Okay, so again, we're just going to start by doing 36 times 4. Okay, well, 6 times 4 is 24, so I'll put the 4 here. The 2 is actually a 10, 24. Now we're going to do 3 times 4 is 12, and we have to add in our 2 more. So 12, 13, 14. Okay, so 4 36s is 144. But now we need 20 more 36s, okay? And if you want to, you can get rid of that so it doesn't confuse you. Okay, so now I'm going to do 6 times 2, which is really 6 times 20. So remember, this is the tricky part. You have to add a 0 right here because you're actually multiplying it by 20 with a 0. So now let's do 6 times 2, which is 6 times 20 is 12. And 3 times 2, or 3 times 20, which is 6, 7. Boop. Well, now we've done 4 36s, and we've done 20 36s. We need to put them together. 4 plus 2, 6, 1. So we're going to have 864. Now again, and remember how up here I'd said 3 times 4 is, 6 times 4 is 24, and then da-da-da. But then when I did this one, there was another one that I had to do. It starts to get very confusing about which numbers you're supposed to add together or multiply. So there's another way you can do it, and we'll do it with 36 times 24. This is called the array method. Remember how we've done arrays where things go in rows and columns? So what you'll do is you'll say 36, so you'll make a box, a square. There's 36. And then down the side, I'm going to do 24 and do another. So there's a box for each of the 2 numbers to go together. Now we're just going to multiply them together. But there's going to be one more step. I'm going to put from corner to corner a line. There's a line. Corner to corner. Another line all the way through those boxes. And then corner to corner. Okay. So now we're going to multiply our numbers. We're going to start with 6. You can start anywhere you want, but I usually start with 6 and 4. So that's going to be this box down here. 6 times 4 is 24. Well, I have 2 digits, so I'm going to put 1 in this triangle and 1 in this one. 6 times 2 is 12. Again, 2 digits, a 1 and a 2. Okay, I'll come over to this box. Well, 3 times 2 is only 6. So I don't have any 10s, so I'll put a 0 and a 6. Now I'm going to come to this box. This box is for the 3 and the 4. Well, we know that that's 12 again. So 1 digit, 2 digit. Okay. And now this is where you're going to use your diagonals because those are the ones you're going to add. Well, this one's just by himself, 4. So I'm going to put a 4 right there. Now I have these 3 2s right here. 2, 4, 6. Bing. Now I'm going to add these. 6 and 1 is 7, 8. And then there's a 0, so I don't really need to put anything there. So the answer is 864. 36 times 24 equals 864. What? And what's nice about the array method is, did I have to carry a bunch of numbers? Remember the 24, I had to put it over here and whatever? No. Now, there are some times with the array method when you may have to carry one thing, and I'll show you an example. And remember, if this is like, whoa, you can always stop this video, come back to it, or you can choose to ignore this video if you think it's too much. Okay? So let's look at this one. How about 58? So I'm gonna make my box, and actually I'm gonna make it a little bigger so we can see it a little easier. So I'm gonna make a bigger box. Boop, boop, boop. Okay, 58 times 76. So some big digits, so we're gonna get some big numbers. Okay, I'm gonna make my square. And then I'm gonna go from diagonal to diagonal, corner to corner, corner all the way to this corner, and then corner to corner. Okay, 8 times 6 is 48. 8 times 7 is 56. 5 times 7 is 35. 5 times 6 is 30. Okay, so now remember, this is where we go on our diagonals. Well, 8 is by itself, so that's just 8. Then I have 6 plus 4 plus 0, so that's 10. Well, just like before, we're only going to put the 0 digit here. That 1 digit will go with the next group. 5 plus 5 is 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Same thing, I'm going to put the 4, and I'll put the 1 digit with this group. 1 plus 3 is 4. So the answer of 58 times 76 equals 4,408. Okay, but we did have to carry a digit right here and right here, but we don't ever have to carry 2 digits. Do you remember that one time when we were doing it and we had a 1 on top and then the next time we had a 2 on top of that? It's like, which one do you add? This is a really nice method if you only want to have to carry something once and not get confused on what is getting added together. So this is just another strategy. Again, this is the first time I've ever showed it to you, the first time we've even talked about it, and this is something 4th graders do, okay? So do not worry if this seems too hard or hurts your brain. Remember, you can always look back at this video anytime you want, stop it, and practice some of this over and over again until it makes sense and it feels good. But if it doesn't and it's hurting your brain and you don't like it, ignore this video altogether. Okay, it's just meant to be an option if you wanted to have a little extra challenge, but don't stress out about it. It should never be stressful, it should be fun. But I think this is kind of a cool new way to do it. So if you ever want to try it, that's one way to do it. All right, talk to you soon. Bye.